Welcome to my coding school. This is Nodejs tutorial for beginners. We're on section 5 and we want to look at the NPM package manager. So now let's get started. So here NPM is the standard package manager for Node.js, and in September of 2022, this amount of packages was recorded, which is 2.1 million being listed on the NPM registry, making it the biggest single language code repository that we have for now. And there's a package for almost anything that we'll need. So let's go through this a little bit slowly. So they're telling us that ever since we got Node.js, we have been able to get this number of packages from different kinds of developers all over the world. And this implies that for almost anything that you need in your application, you will just get some of these packages from the internet. So the part where those packages are stored is called the NPM registry. So now, as a way to download and manage the dependencies of Node.js packages, and now it has also gone to the front end JavaScript. So let's try to dissect this statement. So now they're telling us that the NPM package has started as a way of downloading and managing dependencies for Node.js packages. But then it also became a tool for running front-end JavaScript. So we also have other alternatives, for example, Yarn and PNP, which are called CLIs that can be used to handle or manage files. So let's get into Visual Studio Code and see a basic example. So here I have a simple folder that is called Node.js tips, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to run npm init. And what this command will do is it will create for me a project which is of Node.js, and it will ask me the package name. I'll increase this a little bit, and then I'll keep it to the default, the version default. The description, I'll give it maybe learning, and then the entry point, I'll leave it to that. No text command, no repository, and then keyword, simply learn, and then the author is me, and then the license, I'll use MIT, which is open source, and then I'll use CommonJS, and then I'll press OK, and then this will create for me a package.json file, which we shall understand in time to come. So what I'll do here is I'll create the index.js file like this, index.js, and then this file will be the entry point of this project, and then I can create files, folders. For example, I can create a file for controllers, and then another file, another folder for models like this, and then another file for routes, and then another file for config, sorry, the folder for config. So what I'm doing here is I'm trying to structure a typical web server, which is a REST API, and in the config folder we store database related files, and then for controllers, this is where we put the files that control the application, and then the models, this is where we store the data related files, and then routes, these are endpoints, and then this is the entry, and then this is where the information about our application is. So now the npm is the package manager that will manage this project, and what I will do here is I'll write npm install, and then if I'm, for example, building a REST API service, I'll need a way to store my passwords, so I can use a package called bcrypt, which is already pre-written. I can import it and use the functions available. If I want to use tokens, I can write JSON web tokens, and then I press enter and install. But for this one, I'll just simply use Morgan. So this is simply a logger, and then if I click and enter, it will add this package here in my dependencies. So now you can see what I mean. So let's get back to our notes. So now I've shown you some of the packages that we can download, which we shall see when we try to build a web server. So npm install will install the package, and then npm update will update those files. So these files that your project is depending on, they are called dependencies. So these dependencies are in two types. We have the typical dependencies, and then the dev dependencies that are only available for a development. So here I've shown you this package.json file. This is where the project information is, and then the npm install, and then here you add in the package that you want to install, and then it will be installed. So that's it for this video. I'm going to see you in the next one.